Hey, this is the 13th Wolfman, and this is an update of pickups. Well, pickup, I guess I should say. It's just one. This is non-horror. I know that to all the loyal fans out there that are the loyal fans who listen to me, to all my loyal subscribers, you know, they're basically watching to see what I'm going to talk about when I talk about horror. But let's be honest, I'm a lover of film as much as I am a lover of horror. Horror is my favorite genre, but film is my favorite medium. So I was in the store one day, and I found this really great box set for a really great price. That was just last weekend. And I had to pick it up, man. This is a super great box set. And it's the Martin Scorsese 4-disc box set. You've got Boxcar Bertha, New York, New York, The Last Waltz, and Raging Bull. And I cannot believe, I'm going to do what one quick GT does. I'm just going to take everything out and show you the box. This is insane. So, here's the front. There's the side. This is the side that slides out. And there's the back with the 4 movies. It's got this paper. I never do like I never like these things. It's got this paper that flips off like this. I'll probably wind up taking that off just because I can't stand it. It gets bent. It gets folded. It's just, you know. And then this is the other side. And then it slides out like this. And you got the little file, the little disc file here. This is some seriously thick cardboard, man. This is like textbook type of cardboard. I was surprised on how thick it was. This is great. So you pull it out like that, and the movies are in here. But I already slid them out behind me, and I'm just gonna go over them. First one is Boxcar Bertha. David Carradine, Barbara Hershey, Martin Scorsese. Right? Scorsese directs this film. And it also has John Carradine. So Papa Carradine and his son, David, are in a movie together. Now this movie falls under 2 categories, really. It falls under the Martin Scorsese director, but it was also produced by, say it with me, Roger Corman, the major man of B films. This is kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde type of movie. You know, Barbara Hershey plays Boxcar Bertha, and she's just out to cause trouble, and David Carradine plays a union man. This is during the Depression of the 1920s and 1930s, and he's trying to get some decent wages for the people that work on the railroad. They meet up, and they start robbing. And John Carradine plays the owner of the railroad, who's just looking to pick this little ruthless gang of thieves and outlaws up and make an example of them. It's a good film. It's a fun film. I just watched it yesterday, and it's worth the watch. I really liked it. Supposedly Carradine and Hershey claim that the sex scene in this movie was not faked. So, after that you've got New York, New York. Liza Minnelli, Robert De Niro. And a man from the Roger Corman factory pops up in this movie, Dick Miller. That guy pops up in everything, man. I mean, this is not produced by Corman by any way whatsoever. In fact, this was produced by Laszlo Kovacs. It's just that Dick Miller pops up in it. Who else is in this? Mary Kay Place pops up in this. Jack Haley, the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. He has a minor cameo. If my trivia mind is right, while Liza Minnelli was making this, she was married to Jack Haley Jr., so that would be her father-in-law, Jack Haley. If I remember that right. So this is a cool movie. This is a long movie, man. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. And Scorsese's got that going on, man. I don't understand it. He loves to make these long films. But this is a fun film. It really is. New York, New York. Next one is all about the band. That's right, I said the band. What do I got on here? I got 5 minutes. Okay, so this is all about the band. A group that came out of, it's called The Last Waltz. It's a group that came out of Canada. Up in Canada, you know, they started out in the 1950s, and they were this little backup group for Ronnie Hawkins and the Hawks. After a while, they played bars, you know, and that was Ronnie Hawkins' thing. He liked playing bars. He wasn't really into really making it big. He wanted to just play bars. He was a real cartoon character of a person. And so he went solo, and they kind of mumbled around, and they caught up with Bob Dylan. And they backed up Bob Dylan, and then Dylan went electric, and the band was there, and then Dylan went solo and got a different backup band. So they said, well, we need a name. Well, what do we can call ourselves? Well, we can call ourselves this. Everyone just referred to them as the band, so they called themselves the band. And they toured for 20 years, from 1956 or 58 to 1976 or 78. I think this was in 1977 that they recorded this movie. It was put out in 1978. This was the very last concert. Well, I guess 1977 then. So, this was the very last concert that the band did together as a whole. Northern California, up in San Francisco, at Winterland. They said, hey guys, they called up all their friends that they could, Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan, Ronnie Hawkins, Eric Clapton, Dr. John, who else you got? Neil Young, Emmylou Harris, Ringo Starr, Ron Wood, Paul Butterfield, the Staples. You got the Staple Singers, you know. And they said, why don't you guys come up here, man? We're going to do one last concert. We want to have a party. And Martin Scorsese got the call. While he was making New York, New York, he went up there on a weekend and he filmed this. He got all the big all the big cameramen. I just cannot say that word. Cinematographers. There were 7 big name cinematographers on this film. And the guy that owned the place said, look, you can set up all your cameras all you want, but you cannot block the audience. So they had to figure out this really where they could put stuff without bugging the patrons. And as they did all that, they figured, okay, well, what are we going to do? You know, they threw this party, they had this great time, and it became The Last Waltz. It is a great, if anyone's into rock music, if anyone's into music whatsoever, that is the movie to check out. The Last Waltz with the band. Last one, Raging Bull. I'm running out of time, man. So, Raging Bull was 1980. It was Robert De Niro again playing Jake LaMotta. Joe Pesci. God, I mean, I don't know. Scorsese again doing it. Director of photography, Michael Chapman, who was one of the directors of photography on The Last Waltz. Screenplay by Paul Schrader, who did Taxi Driver. This box set is a killer box set. If you like Martin Scorsese and you like his films, pick it up. I know I do, and I know I did. This is the 13th Wolfman, and I am on the prowl.